My name is Joyce, and I crave acceptance. When I graduated from high school going to university, I have this perspective that it's going to be another chapter of my life where I get to meet people, make friends, have to get a good GPA, and face new challenges. So I even set myself with some rules and goals for me to achieve what I want and be the person I want to become. I was that kind of a person who always wanted to keep things in order and have everything happening in the right place at the right time. Notion that if I just do everything perfectly right, then maybe it's going to attract the people around me, and that maybe it's going to make them like me more as a person, as a friend, as a student, and even as a Christian. I was craving for people's approval and appreciation, I guess, for everything I did. But every time I try to please those people around me, I feel like I have to give up something in order to satisfy those cravings. Until it came to a point where I felt exhausted and felt empty. And every time failure strikes, I have the tendency to isolate myself so that I don't have to face rejections and criticism from people. I lost a part of myself I thought can never be found again. And just allowing these thoughts bury into my mind and into my heart that eventually became a heavy burden with my spiritual walk with God. I realized that I created a world that only contained my rules, my thoughts, and my story. But when I was at my lowest point, God has shown me a different world from the world I created for myself. A different perspective that changed my life and my cravings. So I started asking myself questions if I'm more concerned of what others think or am I more concerned of what God thinks. I learned that I don't exist to please anyone and I don't have to live life like I'm always working, earning for people's acceptance. And it also made me realize that it could be tiring and yet never satisfies the cravings I have. Instead, I learned to put God in ahead of me and ask him to take control because I believe that he would not only lead my way, but he would also lead me to the right path. Path of righteousness where there's no shame, no guilt, and no selfishness. And beyond a shadow of a doubt, I believe that his ways are higher than my ways, and his plans are definitely better than my own plan. And he filled in those gaps that were taken away and filled it with love and contentment. And the good news is, I don't have to work hard for it because he really offers it. And there's always one verse that guided me throughout this journey that I had. And it's Galatians 5:16-17 that says, walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh. For the flesh is contrary to the Spirit, and the Spirit is contrary to the flesh. They are in conflict with each other so that you are not to do whatever you want. I believe God can change your perspective that as he did with mine in changing your story to his story. I am Joyce, and this is my story.